Well, good morning, everyone. Sorry, we're a little bit behind. I had computer trouble logging in this morning, so a little bit nervous and afraid today, so I apologize for that. But hey, it's probably not unlike some of you out there who are watching. So just give it a second for people to kind of jump on real quick and say hi. So if you're out there, see Dave Thurman is out there. Good morning, sir. Well, we miss seeing you around here, man. Love and miss you. Susan, you as well. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Well, this morning, while people are logging on real quick, I don't want to take a lot of time today, but I had a thought that I just wanted to share with you. And so I don't really have it all fleshed out and planned out. So maybe some of you thinking that, boy, you guys must spend all day just sitting and writing and thinking and praying through everything. And some of that is true. Some of it, the Lord just kind of pops in your heart and it's like, okay, hey, let's share this. And so maybe it's not fleshed out the way you want it. And maybe today is be one of those moments where I don't necessarily have everything all kind of planned out how I want to say it. And so I thought maybe I'll just go ahead and just share with you the thought that I have. So here's the thought. A couple weeks ago, I came on here and I shared. I started out with a question or a statement. And I said, the statement, there's hope in the boat. And basically that was referring to the story where Jesus was in the boat with the disciples and the storm took over and they were afraid. And Jesus got up and said, hey, winds be still, seas be still. And the storm went away. And the disciples had Jesus in there in the boat. And so their hope was in the boat. And so this morning, I kind of want to start out with something very similar to that. And I'll just kind of start out with saying this. Are you okay with being uncomfortable? Are you okay with being uncomfortable? And the reason why I say that is because I don't know if you're glued to the news, which you shouldn't be. You should have an awareness of what's going on, but sometimes to be glued to it can be a dangerous thing, especially for our mental capacity, our mental state. But are you okay being uncomfortable? Today it seems like Christians especially are being pushed further and further into this environment of being uncomfortable. Like you, I kind of stay up to date on what's going on, and we see the tensions in our society right now with the racial injustice and those who are calling out for justice. And we also had the pandemic that kind of stirred people into some severe bouts with being uncomfortable. And so I think right now as a state that we're all just kind of being pushed into this state of being uncomfortable. But is that okay? Should we be okay with being uncomfortable? So I'll start out with showing you something real quick to demonstrate my point. And I'm going to out myself here by saying this. So this right here is a gym bag that I have brought to the church with great intentions of running and exercising out here on our property. If you guys haven't been out here in a while, we've got a great piece of land that's got a lot of things for people to exercise, ride bikes, hiking, walking trails, disc golf, which is what I love to do, honestly. But I say that because I brought this here about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it is still sitting in this back office in the back. All my clothes are still sitting, and my shoes are sitting inside this bag. And I have yet to take them out of the bag. Now, I'm not going to believe that I'm the only one who is probably watching right now that has a bag of good intentions that you have not unopened. And to relate all this together, I'll say it this way. I am not to the level of being uncomfortable enough with the way that I feel to take those clothes out of that bag. So I know for some of you, maybe like me, I have to get to a level of being so uncomfortable that I am willing to make a change. And I think a lot of us are like that. And so when we see things that are going on in our world today, sometimes you have to stop and wonder, what is it all for? Why am I all of a sudden being forced to be uncomfortable? And I think, spiritually speaking, when God wants us to do something, especially when God wants to move us into something that's greater than what we could ever accomplish on our own, He has to get us to a level of being so uncomfortable that we're willing to step out and do something big or do something that we've never done before. 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, I felt that same push when the Lord spoke to me and my wife. I was married, 2 kids. Our kids were 2 and 3 years old. We were living in Louisiana, which is where I'm from. And I began to feel this urging, I guess, in my spirit that it was time to do something. My job was, income was my job was not going well. The economy was really starting to take a hit, and this is in 08 and 09. So I wasn't working very much, wasn't making a lot of money, and boy, things were really tight. And we began to pray, as me and my wife began to pray and seek the Lord, and we began to feel the stirring that God was going to do something, or God was calling us to do something, but we had no clue what. So we did the only thing we knew how to do, and that was to pray. And so as we began to pray and we began to seek God about what he was calling us to do, we started to lean in a little bit, and then we found out that God was calling us to do something that was bigger than what we were able to do on our own. And so we ended up coming up here for a birthday party 10 years ago and felt the presence of the Lord and decided that it was time for us to make a bold step. And so God had to push us into financial instability and uncomfortableness. I don't know if that's a word, but I'll use it, to move us here. And without the pressure that we felt there, we never would have gotten here. And we knew that God was doing something in our lives and calling us to something bigger. So I don't know where you are today, and I don't know if you feel uncomfortable or you're too comfortable, because I think you can also be too comfortable where, God wants to use you, but yet you're not motivated enough to move. And so this morning, my prayer for you is that maybe if you feel a little uncomfortable in your situation, maybe you feel like things are at a point where you're just not comfortable anymore and don't know what to do, I encourage you to pray, seek God. Maybe he's calling you into something bigger and better. Maybe he's calling you to take those clothes out of that gym bag and do something important for him. But you won't know that unless you seek God. So I don't have anything super deep or anything, but I just want to say to you today, I know that things have been so crazy the last few weeks and months. Last Sunday was awesome to see people back in the building. I know that's been a challenge for some people with just worshiping from home. And that was maybe it's a little uncomfortable for some of you. It was uncomfortable for us to be here on a Sunday morning worshiping with an empty room, knowing that everyone was watching us through the lens of their own home and through TV sets and TV screens. But man, I tell you, it was something that's kind of forced us to seek God in new ways. And so while it's great to come back to the building, I kind of feel like I hope my prayer is not that I get too comfortable, because I know once I get to a point where I'm really comfortable, maybe I won't be challenged to do some good things and big things for God. So maybe I don't know where you are today, or what you're feeling today. But maybe if you're feeling a little uncomfortable, maybe it's because God is trying to call you to do something really great and really big that's outside of your realm of possibility, but something that's totally possible with God. So I just want to encourage you with that today. I hope you have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you maybe this Sunday, maybe next Sunday, maybe in a few Sundays, but we hope to see you soon. So be blessed. Have a great day.